There is a universal consensus on the fact that Ile-Ife, the source of creation, is the cradle of civilization, surrounded by a lot of myths. The first palm tree in the world, hundreds of millions of years in age, can be found in Ile-Ife. It is believed that the sacredness of the city of Ile-Ife shielded it away from external attacks, invasion, and destruction for centuries. Legend has it that most of the Yoruba towns and crown heads traced their origin from Oduduwa and the ancient city of Ile-Ife. History has it that before Oduduwa's death and burial in Ile-Ife, he blessed and crowned his children and dispatched them to different parts of Yoruba land, where they settled and became crown kings. With a rich history and well-exposed and educated people, that excellent trajectory which distinctively marked out the Ife people for centuries, the emergence of His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi or Jaja II as the 51st Ooni of Ife among 20 other contenders has further consolidated the solid pedestal of the very revered stool. He must be sound academically, of impeccable character, and versed in world affairs. Today, Nigerians from the north, southeast, south-south, middle belt, and the southwest agree that any monarch chosen to lead them must in every aspect be truly seen to have all it takes to be a worthy representative of his people. His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi, is a graduate of accountancy, a certified member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, and Institute of Management, certified member of the Institute of Directors, IOD, as well as the Global Real Estate Institute. Prior to his emergence on the throne of his forefathers, Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi, or Jaja II, has been involved in engineering, procurement and construction activities both locally and internationally for over 11 years, where he has made a great mark. The Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Babatunde Ogunwusi, was involved in the development of landmark buildings like Prime Water View Limited, Westcom Limited projects, and the Ajaokuta Steel and Delta Steel resuscitation projects, among others. Imbued with vision, immense creative acumen, with his well-known mantra of turning impossibilities to possibilities, the ancient city of Ile-Ife is in for a revolution that will perfectly blend tradition with modernity with all the relevant issues brought to the front burner for the benefit of the sons and daughters of Ile-Ife. In his first interview on television, granted exclusively to BOS, the Ooni of Ife speaks candidly on a wide range of issues. He reflects on his growing up years, his most memorable experience, and how that helped to shape his future.
My growing up, it's been very historic, full of challenges, full of ups and downs. But to the glory of God, the King of Kings kept me thus far. Interestingly, before I was born, my parents told me the story. Anyway, that there was a very intense prediction in our family that a child will be born to the family, and very specifically on a Thursday, and by 1 p.m. specifically in the afternoon, and the child will be full of several mysteries and an embodiment of history, that they should take care of that child. They shouldn't look at that child with an ordinary eye. My parents had the first, it didn't happen. The second, it didn't happen. The third, it didn't happen. The fourth, it didn't happen. To the glory of God, I'm the fifth born. And I was actually born on a Thursday and exactly 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And immediately I was born, my maternal grandfather of blessed memory and my mother of blessed memory too left this world.
The Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi's father, is Prince Rokpo Ogunwusi, who retired as a director at the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State after many years. He is the third son in a family of 6, with 3 sisters. He has a daughter, Adeola Anoluwakpo Ogunwusi, born in May 1994. The Ooni is married to Wuraola Zainab from the royal family in Edo State of Nigeria. The Ooni of Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunwusi, who has learnt the ropes very quickly with a combination of well-researched facts and close interaction with important stakeholders in Ile-Ife, expatiates further on the myths surrounding Ile-Ife with a deliberate attempt to correct misrepresentation and misconceptions created by oral tradition.
The question is, why is it that the spirit is controlling the physical till date? So the landmarks are in Ife. The source of the entire ocean of the world till date is in Ife. We call it Olokun. Olokun lived in Ife, came to Ife in form of spirit, came the second time as a human being, and the spirit then was controlling the human that came. The same for Obatala. Obatala came as a spirit and came again as a human being, and the spirit of Obatala that came first was controlling the physical. Again, Oduduwa came as a spirit, and the same spirit that came then, because Oduduwa too came as a human being, was controlling them. So they lived the life of spirit and they lived the life of human. Look at Osa. Osa too came as a spirit and came as a human being. And you can see Osa is called Lagoon in Lagos now. They are human beings. It's very, when I tell people now, it's very shocking, but that's the truth. The needle that we're using to sew our clothes, at some point, was a human being, but now it's a spirit. It's a component, it's a content that is useful to the entire mankind. There's nobody that they don't use needle to sew their clothes. But some spirit said, I will be converted to some substance to be useful for mankind. Look at knife. There's nobody that doesn't use knife to cut onion, cut something in the kitchen. They were spirits, but they came again in form of human, and they were converted to the usefulness of mankind. Same water. Who can be enemy to water? You can't.
The Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi, received his staff of office from Osun State Governor Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola on Monday, 7th December 2015. He speaks on his experience on the throne as Ooni of Ife in the last 6 months.
I thank once again the King of Kings. It's all been service. Selfless service all the way. I don't even have time for myself again. But I thank the King of Kings that appointed me to this throne. That you are going to this throne to correct a lot of things, to change the perspective of the way people think. It's a clarion call. So I'm at peace. It's stewardship. So what can get to my head about it? It's not possible. I'm not far from reality. I am still very close to reality. So my point is, it is when you bring yourself down that God will bring you up. God loves humility. There is nothing that anybody can become in life without God. So why will you get carried away because you're a monarch? It's a service.
The first pronouncement of the Ooni of Ife in his address after he was inaugurated into office was the promise to unite Yorubas under a peaceful and prosperous reign. This prompted his visits to different monarchs in different parts of the southwest, which began on January 17, 2016, with the Ooni's historic visits to the Ile-Ife of Oyo, the first of such visits in 8 decades by any Ife monarch, which among other things sets the tone for the mending of fences of the 79 years old frosty relationship between the thrones of Ile-Ife and Oyo. The Ooni crisscrossed other parts of the southwest region with a message of peace and unity among the Yorubas, especially among the monarchs. The Ooni reviews his peace mission across the southwest.
Candidly speaking, it's been very challenging, because you get a lot of banters from people, why are you here? We didn't invite you. But eyes on the ball, that's my own belief. And what's the eyes on the ball? I carry 2 things on this throne that I told God: peace and youth emancipation. That's all. I want to focus clearly on that. Anything that will bring peace, I'm ready to take down any consequence. Anything that will bring youth emancipation, I'm ready to damn any consequence. I'm ready to make any form of sacrifice that is godly. It might be embarrassing, but I would do it. Worst case scenario, you won't open your place. I've been to very highly placed monarchs that they didn't even open the door for me to enter. I've been, and I was kept out. I went with some people and they didn't even allow all of us to enter. I kept begging. Highly placed monarchs in Nigeria. So you take some things if you know that you must focus on peace, because one man's meat is another man's poison. I'll look at it that maybe he doesn't like publicity, he doesn't like too many people. He might be a private person. So you can't just barge into his privacy. And he decided to lock you out. And I've been to a king.
To be honest with you, and Ooni is the zenith. That is the beginning and the end.
I know, but really and truly, I would disagree with that in the sense that the beginning and the end is God.
I mean, that's just in inverted commas. What I mean is that you are,
No.
almost like a deity yourself.
I know. That's the truth. Candidly, you're right, because what the meaning of Ooni is Onirisha, the person that sees the deities. And truthfully, let's just put everything to edify God. God is real, but nobody has seen God. But I have felt God. I have seen His work. He has spoken to me. I have a mission. So if anybody should disgrace me, I've seen a lot, but I eyes on the ball. And the peace mission is working. Why supremacy? The supreme being is King of Kings. What did you hear me call the name? King of Kings. So he's the supreme king. So we have a boss. Everybody in this world has a boss.
The Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, whose entrepreneurial strides are recognized globally in the area of engineering, construction, and real estate management, led the federal government delegation to Canada to facilitate the partnership agreement signed between Ondo State government and the Canadian authorities in the area of solid minerals development in 2002. He also volunteered a suggestion to the federal government on how to navigate the present problem caused by Nigeria's dependence on a monocultural economy for decades.
I wish we never had oil in Nigeria. I wish we never. It was just pure distraction for us. And look at our flag. Let's look at the basis of this country, our basis of existence. It was never based on oil. And the general saying is, if you forget your source, a water body that forgets its source would dry up. No time. Look at our flag. Our flag is agriculture and peace. It's not oil based. So we should have been putting sinking fund ever since the oil boom came. That this is not the basis of this country. This country was not based on oil. Agriculture and peace. Nigeria, very peaceful. We're one of the happiest people in the world. We love to enjoy ourselves. So we lost that focus. That's my philosophy. I might be wrong. I wish we never had oil.
The Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has leveraged to a great extent on his immense expertise in the real estate sector to bring a lot of development in construction to bear to revamp Ile-Ife into a modern city-state. The sprawling 25 acres expanse of land where the Ooni of Ife's palace sits is a beautiful sight to behold, as new structures are gradually replacing the old ones, some of which have been there for as long as 600 years or more. However, the Ooni of Ife said he will preserve some of the old buildings as important relics which will constantly remind the people of Ife and indeed other visitors of where we are coming from, how much progress we have made, and how much work we still have ahead.
It's a town that has been neglected for many years, unfortunately. So we're trying to revamp and bring it back to life. We have so many heritage sites. So my vision for Ife is it's going to be the biggest tourist center in the world. Nobody has what we have in Ife all over the world. Nobody. That's the truth clearly. It's a very sacred town. So it's a very highly spiritual town. So we need to showcase the entire thing to the world, for the world to see. So in another 3-5 years, beehive of activities in Ife in terms of pilgrimage, in terms of religious tourism, in terms of rapid development. That's my dream. And for the town's economy to be well popped up in terms of the per capita and the GDP of everybody in the town to be of an average good standard to live for everybody. That's my vision, and to the glory of God, I'm working towards it.
BOS exclusive interview with His Imperial Majesty Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi ends with a special message from the throne of the Ooni of Ife. A clarion call to all sons and daughters of Ile-Ife, and indeed Yoruba land, both at home and in the diaspora, to be worthy ambassadors of Ile-Ife and the Yoruba race wherever they find themselves.
It's a good privilege. On this note, I'm calling on all Ife sons and daughters, and in all the entire Yoruba race, because the land of expansion, Ile-Ife, belongs to everybody in Yoruba land. It is not only we people in Ife. We are custodians. So I'm appealing to every Yoruba sons and daughters for us to all come together in peace and harmony. Let us work together. Let us put and shove that toga of supremacy. I'm above you, you're above me. We should know that God is above all of us. Let us bond and do teamwork and work towards developmental programs and see how we can pull one another up. It's important for us to come together in unity, because in unity there's a lot of strength, and for us to go back to our source, to our roots, what our ancestors, our forebears left for us in form of pride, how they instilled morals in things that we do. So the entire Yoruba race, and most especially Ife, sons and daughters, please come back home. Come and let us work together as a team. I cannot do it alone. Let us all join force, join hands together, and take it to greater heights. God bless you.